Let's be brutally honest here. When a woman tells you her problems, it's rarely about the problems themselves. Men get this wrong all the time. You sit there nodding, trying to fix things, offering solutions, giving advice she never asked for. And guess what? She doesn't care about your solutions. What she really wants is something far more revealing. And here's the controversial truth. If a woman is opening up her world of problems to you, it means she's looking for connection, attention, and in many cases, validation. Now, before you get defensive, let me say this. I'm not calling women manipulative. I'm exposing a reality that men constantly fail to see. Women don't share problems with men they don't trust or don't want anything from. If she's pouring out her issues to you, it's not random. It's intentional. She's testing to see if you understand her, if you can handle her emotions, and most importantly, if you're the kind of man she actually wants to keep around. Here's where most men fail. They think she's inviting them to fix her problems. Wrong. She's inviting you to feel them with her. And if you don't know how to respond the right way, you'll blow your chance without even realizing it. So why is this important? Because the moment a woman chooses to share her personal struggles with you, she's essentially revealing her interest. It's her way of letting you in. If you don't understand this dynamic, you'll waste time, energy, and opportunities. But if you do understand it, you'll know how to turn those conversations into attraction, respect, and deeper connection. And trust me, that changes everything. 1. She doesn't tell every man her problems. Here's the first truth you need to get through your head. Women don't just open up to every man. If a woman is telling you her problems, she's not doing it because she's bored, she's not doing it because she needs a therapist, and she's definitely not doing it because you're the only one available. No, she's doing it because you're someone who holds some level of importance in her life. And that alone is a sign most men overlook. Think about it. A woman can have 100 guys around her, coworkers, friends, online, nice guys flooding her DMs, yet she stays silent with them. Why? Because those men haven't earned that space. They're not men she trusts, they're not men she respects, and most importantly, they're not men she feels a connection with. Women don't risk vulnerability with men who don't matter. So if she's sharing her struggles with you, you're already standing in a position that most men can't even dream of. Now here's the controversial twist. Just because she tells you her problems doesn't mean she's looking for you to solve them. In fact, if you immediately jump into problem-solving mode, she might lose interest. Why? Because she didn't choose you for your answers. She chose you for your presence. She tells you because she wants to see how you handle it. Are you calm? Do you listen? Do you make her feel safe? Or do you get nervous, awkward, or try too hard to impress her with advice? Let's say a woman tells you, "Work has been so stressful, my boss is always on my back, and I feel like I can't breathe." Most men will reply with something like, "You should talk to HR or maybe find a new job." Wrong move. That makes you sound like Google, not a man. The right way is to stay calm, look her in the eye, and say something like, "Sounds like you're carrying a lot, but I know you'll handle it." See the difference? One makes you a fixer, the other makes you a rock she can lean on. Remember this, if she's opening up to you, she's elevating you above the crowd. It's not casual, it's not random. It's her way of showing you that you're already in a place of significance. And if you know how to respond, you won't just stay there. You'll move higher. 2. Problems equals interest, not just trust. Most men make a deadly mistake here. They assume that when a woman tells them her problems, it's only about trust. She must trust me enough to share, they say. Wrong. Trust is part of it, but it's not the whole picture. Women don't only open up because of trust. They open up because of interest. Here's the hard truth. Women can trust many men, but that doesn't mean they're attracted to them. She might trust her boss, her brother, or even her hairdresser with personal details. But does that mean she wants them? Not at all. So when she chooses to share her struggles with you, it goes beyond trust. It means she sees something in you worth pulling closer. Men need to stop underestimating this signal. Women are selective by nature. If she didn't care about you, she wouldn't bother. If she wasn't interested, she'd keep it surface level. But if she starts telling you about her frustrations, her family drama, or the stress weighing on her, that's her way of drawing you in. She's basically saying, "I want you involved in my emotional world." And a man who misses this signal is the man who will stay in the just a friend zone forever. Now here's the controversial part. Interest doesn't always look like flirting, giggling, or playful touches. Sometimes interest looks like her unloading her problems onto you. That's her way of saying, I'm letting you see a side I don't show to everyone. If you think that's just trust, you'll miss the bigger picture. She's inviting you into her emotional space because she's interested in how you'll handle it. For example, let's say she tells you, my ex has been texting me again and it's stressing me out. Most men panic. They either get jealous and insecure or they brush it off and say, just ignore him. Both wrong. What she's really doing is testing your reaction. Do you stay grounded, confident, and unbothered? Do you show that you're the type of man who doesn't crumble when another guy is in the picture? If you respond calmly and with strength, you just turned her problem into proof of your value. Never forget this. Her problems are not random. They're signals. And those signals mean she's not just comfortable with you, she's interested in you. Men who understand this rise above the rest. Men who don't, they stay confused and left behind. 3. She wants attention, not solutions. This is where most men get it completely wrong. A woman tells you her problems and your first instinct is to jump in with an answer, a fix, a plan. You think you're helping, but in her world, you just proved you don't get it. She's not talking to you because she needs a mechanic for her emotions. She's talking because she wants your presence. Men are built to solve. We hear a problem and our brains immediately start working like a toolbox. What's broken? How do I fix it? But women don't always want that. What she's really asking is, are you strong enough to just sit with me while I unload this? That's attention, not solutions. Think about it. She already knows what she could do about her job stress, her family drama, or her bad day. She doesn't need you to play life coach. What she actually wants is to see how you hold yourself while she's emotional. Do you give her your focus or do you dismiss her? Do you stay calm or do you get irritated? Do you lean in or do you check out? Those small reactions tell her everything she needs to know about the kind of man you are. Here's the controversial truth. When a woman shares her problems, she's not asking you to solve them. She's asking you to prove yourself. She wants to feel seen, understood, and supported without judgment. That doesn't mean you agree with everything she says. It means you show that you're present, attentive, and unshaken by her emotions. This is why so many men fail. They miss the point. They think giving advice makes them look smart, but in reality, it makes them look disconnected. What she really values is your ability to listen without losing your frame. That's what makes her lean closer. That's what makes her feel like you're different. So remember this, when she opens up, don't race to fix. Hold your ground, give her attention, and let her feel your presence. That's the real solution she's looking for. 4. Her problems are secret tests. Men, it's time to wake up. You think she's just venting when she tells you her problems. You think it's casual. But let me hit you with the hard truth. Every problem she shares is a test. Not a test with a grade, not a test you can cheat on, but a test of your masculinity, your patience, and your emotional strength. And too many men are failing without even realizing it. Here's what you don't see. Women don't throw their problems at you randomly. They do it to observe how you'll handle it. She wants to know if you can stay grounded when she's emotional. She wants to know if you can stay confident when she's vulnerable. She wants to know if you can make her feel safe when her world feels unstable. That's the test. The problem is, most men are blind to this. Instead of standing strong, they collapse. They get frustrated, they get defensive, or they turn into her personal problem solver, thinking they're being helpful. Wrong. That's not strength. That's insecurity in disguise. And guess what? She can sense it immediately. Men, stop being naive. Stop thinking her problems are just words. They are signals, they are trials, they are invitations for you to prove what kind of man you are. Fail, and she silently marks you as unfit. Pass, and you become the man she respects, trusts, and even chases. Let me be blunt. Women don't want a man who cracks under pressure. They don't want a man who gets emotional every time they get emotional. They don't want a man who hides behind solutions instead of showing presence. They want a man who listens, stays calm, and shows that he's not shaken by her storms. That's the kind of man who earns her respect. So here's my advice. Stop thinking she's just sharing. Every time she comes to you, treat it as a test. Pay attention to how you react. If you get annoyed, if you shut down, if you act weak, you fail. But if you stay solid, collected, and unfazed, you pass. Gentlemen, wake up. She's testing you. And the outcome decides whether she pulls closer or walks away. 5. She chooses emotion over logic. Men, here's where you completely misread women. You think logic wins. You think if you give her the smartest solution, the clearest reasoning, or the most practical advice, she'll appreciate it. Wrong. Women don't operate like men. They don't choose logic first. They choose emotion. This is not an insult. It's reality. A woman can know the most logical step forward and still ignore it if it doesn't feel right. That's why when she shares her problems with you, she's not asking for a rational breakdown. She's not asking for charts, steps, or strategies. She's asking for you to connect with how she feels. That's the world she lives in. Men often get frustrated at this because it doesn't make sense in our heads. We're wired to fix. We want results. But women are wired to feel. They want to be understood. This is why so many men lose attraction points without even knowing it. They argue with her feelings as if logic can erase them. Big mistake. You'll never win that way. Here's the controversial truth. When she tells you her problems, she doesn't care if you agree with her feelings or not. She cares if you respect them. If you dismiss her emotions as dramatic or irrational, she instantly knows you don't get her. And when she feels you don't get her, you lose your place in her world. Instead of trying to out-logic her, learn to stand with her emotions without drowning in them. You don't need to cry when she cries. You don't need to rage when she rages. But you do need to acknowledge her state and show her you're solid enough to handle it. That's what makes her feel secure. Here's what men must understand. Logic doesn't build attraction, emotion does. She connects to how you make her feel in her vulnerable moments, not how many smart solutions you can throw at her. And if you don't realize this, you'll keep trying to argue your way into her heart, and you'll keep losing. Gentlemen, stop fighting her nature. Accept it. She chooses emotion first. If you learn to navigate that world with strength and patience, you'll stand out as the man who gets it. And trust me, very few men do. 6. She's checking if you're masculine enough. Let's stop sugarcoating it. When a woman tells you her problems, she's not just venting, she's measuring you. She's watching closely, checking if you're masculine enough to handle her world. And here's the part most men don't like to hear. Many of you fail this test because you crumble the moment emotions hit the room. Understand this. Women are naturally drawn to strength. Not just physical strength, but emotional strength. When she shares her struggles, she's observing whether you're a man who can remain calm under pressure or if you'll fold like cheap paper. If you start panicking, overreacting, or whining about her emotional load, she instantly sees weakness. And weakness is unattractive. The truth is brutal but clear. Women don't chase men they have to comfort. They chase men who make them feel protected. That doesn't mean you become cold or uncaring. It means you become a steady rock she can lean on. She wants to see if your masculinity is solid enough to absorb her storms without losing your frame. But here's the problem. Too many men confuse masculinity with control or dominance. They think being masculine means shutting her down, silencing her emotions, or saying, "Stop being dramatic." Wrong. That's insecurity disguised as strength. True masculinity is being grounded when she's unstable. It's showing her that her chaos can't shake your foundation. That's what builds respect. If you can't handle her problems, she'll stop bringing them to you. And when she stops bringing them to you, guess what? She's probably bringing them to another man, and that man, whether you like it or not, is the one she'll feel closer to. This is why so many men wake up one day and wonder why she lost interest. It's because she tested you and you failed without even noticing. So here's the wake-up call. She's not testing for fun. She's testing because she wants to know if you're the type of man she can actually invest in. If you want to stand out, stop reacting like a boy. Stop being easily shaken. Hold your ground. That's what masculinity looks like to her. Gentlemen, don't get it twisted. When she shares her problems, she's not just looking for comfort. She's checking your strength. Pass that test, and she'll see you as the man who deserves her loyalty. Fail it, and you'll fade into the background like the rest. 7. It's about connection, not fixing men. Let's get something straight. When a woman tells you her problems, the last thing she's looking for is a repairman. She doesn't need you to fix her issues like a broken car engine. What she's really searching for is connection. And this is where so many men fail, because they confuse being useful with being valuable. A man who constantly tries to fix everything makes himself useful, but usefulness can be replaced. A man who creates a strong emotional connection makes himself valuable. And value cannot be replaced. That's the difference. Here's the truth. Women live in a world of emotions, and when they share those emotions with you, it's their way of pulling you closer. They don't need a step-by-step plan. They need to feel you understand them. They want to feel safe in your presence, not lectured in your presence. That's why the men who get it build lasting attraction, while the men who always try to fix things end up frustrated, wondering why they got pushed away. Think about this. Every time she talks to you about what's bothering her, she's not just venting, she's inviting you into her emotional world. If all you do is throw logic and solutions at her, you're basically rejecting that invitation. You're telling her, I don't want to connect, I just want this conversation over with. And trust me, she feels that. Here's the controversial part. Women don't fall for men who solve every problem, they fall for men who make them feel understood. That's the real connection she's chasing. That's why she'll open up to one man and not another. Not because he's smarter, not because he's more capable, but because he gets her. Men need to wake up to this reality. Stop trying to be her fixer. Stop thinking she'll love you more because you offered the perfect solution. She won't. But if you give her your presence, your focus, and your calm energy, she'll connect to you on a level that most men will never experience. Remember this, fixing fades, but connection lasts. She doesn't want a handyman. She wants a man who makes her feel safe being herself. If you become that man, you win her respect, her trust, and her attention every time. 8. She only shares to those she values. Here's something men overlook every single day. Women don't waste emotional energy on men they don't value. If she's telling you her problems, it's not random, it's not small talk. It's a sign that, in her eyes, you matter more than the average man. And if you don't recognize this, you'll treat it casually and throw away an opportunity most men will never get. Think about it. Women have plenty of men around them, co-workers, classmates, neighbors, guys online who are eager to listen. But she doesn't share her deepest frustrations with all of them. Why? Because those men haven't earned that privilege. She might laugh with them, she might joke with them, but when it comes to opening up, she's selective. She reserves that part of herself for the men she actually values. This is where men mess up. Instead of seeing her openness as a compliment, they either dismiss it or get annoyed by it. They say things like, "Why are you always complaining?" Or "Here we go again." That's how you destroy your position, because the moment she feels like you don't appreciate what she's giving you, she'll take it back. And when she takes it back, the connection is gone. Here's the controversial truth. Women don't tell their problems to men they plan to forget. They tell their problems to men they see as important. That means if she's choosing you, you've already separated yourself from the crowd. She's telling you, without words, I see you as someone worth trusting with my emotions. But here's the flip side. Just because she values you doesn't mean it's permanent. Value is maintained through your response. If you respond weakly, if you act careless, if you show no patience, her respect for you fades. That's why so many men get confused when she suddenly stops talking or pulls away. She didn't change randomly. She simply stopped seeing you as valuable. Men, you need to wake up and understand this. Her problems are not burdens. They are opportunities. They're signals that you matter. If you embrace them the right way, you'll climb higher in her world. If you brush them off, you'll fall into the same pile of forgettable men she never looks back at. She only shares to those she values. Don't ever forget that. 9. If you fail, she pulls away men. Let's be clear. When a woman opens up to you, she's giving you a chance. But if you fail that chance, she won't always argue with you. She won't always explain it to you. she'll simply pull away. And once she pulls away, getting her back becomes nearly impossible. Here's the reality most men ignore. Women don't waste time trying to fix men who don't get it. If she gives you a window into her world and you slam it shut with arrogance, impatience, or weakness, she won't fight to keep you there. She'll just close off emotionally and redirect that energy to someone else. And by the time you notice, it's already too late. This is why so many men are left confused. They ask, "Why did she stop talking to me?" Or, "Why does she seem distant?" The answer is simple. You failed the test. You thought she was just complaining, so you dismissed her. You thought she wanted advice, so you preached at her. You thought she was nagging, so you got defensive. Every one of those mistakes chips away at her attraction and her respect. Here's the brutal truth. Women don't announce when they're losing interest. They don't give you a warning bell, they just start detaching. They stop telling you things, they stop trusting you with their emotions, they stop looking at you as the man who gets it. And from there, it's only a matter of time before she replaces you with someone who does. Men, you need to stop being blind. Stop treating her problems like background noise. Every moment she opens up is a chance to step up. Fail, and she will pull away. And the worst part? Once she pulls away, you'll never even know exactly when it happened, because she'll have already moved on mentally before you even notice physically. So here's the advice. Treat her openness as a gift. Pay attention to it. Respond with presence, not panic. If you don't, you'll end up like most men, standing there wondering what went wrong while another man becomes the one she now trusts. Remember this. Attraction doesn't vanish in an instant. It fades when you fail her emotional tests. Don't wait until she pulls away to realize what you lost. 10. Respond. Right. She chases you. Here's the part most men never understand. If you respond the right way when a woman shares her problems, the dynamic flips. Instead of you chasing her, she starts chasing you. Yes, you heard that right. She will pursue you. The truth is, women are not used to men who can handle their emotions with strength. Most men either panic, overreact, or rush to fix everything. Very few know how to stay calm, present, and masculine in the middle of her storm. That's why, when you do it correctly, you instantly stand out as rare. And what's rare is valuable. When you respond right, you prove that you're not like the other men. You show her that you can be her safe place without losing your own frame. You show her that her emotions don't control you. Instead, you control how you handle them. That confidence, that calmness, that unshakable energy is what makes her respect you, admire you, and yes, even chase you. Here's the controversial truth. Attraction isn't built through chasing her with flowers, dinners, or endless compliments. Attraction is built when she feels she's the one trying to win you. And the easiest way to create that? Respond correctly when she shares her struggles. Make her feel understood, not managed. Make her feel heard, not lectured. Make her feel safe, not judged. Think about it. Every man tries to impress women with what he does, but women are impressed by how a man is. Your response to her problems reveals exactly that. It shows your patience, your strength, and your emotional intelligence. These are the qualities that make her feel like she needs to hold on to you, not the other way around. And here's what most men won't admit. Women chase men they feel could walk away at any time. If you're grounded enough to handle her emotions without begging for approval, she feels that strength. She knows you're not desperate, and that makes her want to earn more of your attention. So remember this. When she shares her problems, it's not a burden. It's a golden opportunity. Respond with strength, calmness, and presence, and you'll flip the script. She'll be the one calling more, texting more, and investing more. Gentlemen, the moment you learn this skill, the game changes forever. Respond right, and she won't just stay interested. She'll chase you. Conclusion. Gentlemen, we've broken down the truth. When a woman tells you her problems, it's never random. It's a signal, a test, and most importantly, an opportunity. The way you respond can either set you apart as the man she respects and chases, or push you straight into the pile of men she forgets about. Now here's the controversial statement that most people won't admit. If a woman never shares her problems with you, she's not really interested in you. Yes, read that again. If she keeps things shallow, if she never lets you see her vulnerable side, it means she doesn't see you as valuable. Harsh? Maybe. True? Absolutely. A woman will only risk emotional exposure with a man she sees as worth it. If she doesn't share, You're just another face in the background. This is why men need to wake up. Stop complaining that women are too emotional. Stop acting like her problems are a burden. Instead, recognize them for what they are. Access. Access into her world, access into her trust, and access into her attraction. Respond like a grounded man. And you don't just gain her respect, you gain her pursuit. But I don't want this to just end as a one-way lesson. I want to hear from you. Have you ever been in a situation where a woman shared her problems with you and you didn't know how to respond? Or maybe you realized too late that her openness was a sign of interest? Share your story in the comments. I'll be reading them, and I'll even reach out personally to connect with some of you. Because this isn't just about theory. This is about real men learning how to step up, handle women with confidence, and finally take control of the game. So remember, problems aren't problems, they're signals. Handle them right and she won't just stay, she'll chase.